This is a farm, we love y'all now. It's cartoons and Lord for a lot of people fans. Settle down, y'all, tonight. You be you live. The one and only. Just Jack.
She breaks the norm. She makes the pack.
She don't whisper, she doesn't express. Cuts through the chaos, reclaims the space. Fearless in love, relentless in fight. Turns broken to whole, turns dark into light.
No chains combined and no walls too tall. She's a storm to calm, the answer to the call. When silence falls, she strikes like an axe.
Oh my, Jax, that's just Jax, wild but true. That's just Jax, she'll carry you through. Feeling so on shaking ground when she shows the world spins round.
Helm in the flame, got no time for game. Breaking cycles, reuniting names. Cat mind flow, try to justice in my veins. From the hurt to the healing, I'm changing the frame. Fast love, no fear, stand tall, don't collapse. Say it louder, say it stronger, all you hear is just Jax. Edge of tomorrow, hard of today. She tears down the places that got in the way, yeah.
Strongest thunder, softest strength. One life, one love.
Remember the name, that's sad. No copy, no clone. She defines her own throne.
You be your light, the anthem's back. All you hear is just Just Jax, you be you, just Jax. Just Jax, just Jax, just Jax.
And where do we go from there?
That was a big face of me at the end, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, I always thought to myself, or always think to myself, should I get, I don't think I'm at that level yet, but should I get like guest buy-in on the articles or things that, you know, I push out there?
Great.
Okay, good. So ladies and gentlemen, my name is William Rochelle. Welcome to UBU Live. You can call me Bill. And I am with, ladies and gentlemen, find this hard to believe, just Jax. That means the real Jackie Hallberg. And, oh, I actually have a drum machine, but I'll use that later. She saved me. She literally saved me. She was on her show talking when I had someone bail out on my show. And literally, like, they didn't bail out. That's not true. They had a conflict. And as we get deeper into our podcast sessions, we get guests who have different schedules and things conflict. And their assistants call us and say, can we please reschedule Ms. Main? So I was left on Monday without a guest for today. Had already had Jackie scheduled for next week. And I said, can we flip it? She said yes. But the worst part about it is, I did it live on her show, and she responded live.
I got you.
So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I really do. So kind of like, Jackie, who are you?
Doesn't everybody want to know that? Because some days I don't even know who I am, Bill. So I
Me
do want to
either.
I do want to give a disclaimer because I know you have a lot of viewers that don't know me or they haven't got to see my show yet. I talk super fast, guys, and I am on location in Missouri, in the middle of kind of nowhere, and I'm in a like downstairs VRBO room, and they are the loudest people in the world upstairs. So if my Wi-Fi freezes my face in some weird, ugly position, or you hear a lot of stomping, I apologize. But I wanted to be here for you. So if
Thank
that
you.
intro doesn't say everything about me, I'm a little chaotic, aren't I, Bill?
No, but can I ask you, what does on location mean?
That means I am not in my normal place where I have my Wi-Fi loaded in. I've got my nice speaker. I've got my lights and everything. I am in somebody else's living room that they rent out for the time that you're visiting in their location.
Okay. And
The
are
reason
you
I'm on location is because I'm part of the 2350 network. So that is a group of professionals or people that are interested in finding network and support. And it is the brainchild of Damian Kinsey and Dr. Tanya Farron. And I got to meet both of them over the last couple of days. It is amazing. So supportive. I don't know if you've been in business communities recently or not, but sometimes they come across as just like this beautiful little lamb wanting to welcome you in and support you. And then they turn into this evil kind of animal. This doesn't happen with Damian and Dr. Tanya, and there's so many great people in there. So we had planned a retreat around a summit that they did called the Work-Life Balance Summit. It was Friday and Saturday, and I spoke on Friday. And so they're like, hey, let's turn it into an on location where we can all meet up. We can go check things out. We can do some pretty cool things. So I got to meet. So Damian is actually my LinkedIn bestie. He was my first LinkedIn bestie. He supported me when I didn't even know how to get followers and how to do live things. And we ended up doing 2 audio events a month together for almost like 2.5 years. And we finally met in person yesterday. Well, 2 days ago, 3 days ago.
what?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it's weird how I feel connected to certain people that I've never met before.
Oh, yeah.
Like the person Michael LeBlanc who did your opening for your show.
So good.
You know, I feel like we're friends. And Felipe. I mean, it's very, very strange how important. Not strange. It's very important who you put in your circle.
Oh, without a doubt.
In your circle, and those people should be people that speak with intention into your heart, into your soul, and into your destiny.
Oh,
So that's me. So everyone, you know, has a reason to be in your life. What are we supposed to learn from each other?
You know, Bill, I got to just tell you, you and I started seeing each other on each other's shows, probably because
We're not seeing each other, Jackie. She
Well,
keeps
we
wanting to
started
see me, and I keep telling her no. Don't you have a husband? Like, come on.
I love that. Yeah, no, I don't, by the way. Taking applications, totally different topic. I mean, but yeah, we got connected probably through Kenny or probably through Mike or something. And I started listening to you and I'm like, he is real. He is not trying to sugarcoat stuff. I love that vibe. And then it's like you came as a guest on Just Jackson guest like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think. And
Last week. That was
oh
my first time.
dude, you were incredible. First time as a guest. You've been in the host seat forever. You do so good with that. But not only did you do an amazing job, the words you wrote about me afterwards, thanking me, Bill, I don't even get that kind of support from people that I have been considered besties or really good friends or family members for years and years. And you did it again when you wrote this event information. And I can't even tell you how important it is to put people like you in your circle, because even though you didn't know them 2 months ago, 6 months ago, 3 years ago, like you've known some of your people right in your own community, right in your own family, the people that are going to lift you up and they're willing to put their name about a compliment towards you and they want to do something to elevate you, that shows their humanity. And that's why I think we were meant to kind of gravitate together and do these shows. And that's why I do have your back. So you know, hopefully nobody else reschedules anytime soon, because they're not going to want to hear me over and over, even though I would probably fill in for you if needed.
You know what? And let's be clear. It wasn't anyone's fault that it had to be rescheduled. Shit just happens, right?
Oh,
and
yeah, all the time.
and yeah, so we're like, well, no. There's no. I had enough time to figure it out. Put it that
You
way.
did. And the cool thing is I deeply believe that there are reasons that different people show up at different times. And I do a lot of court groups. So I do a lot of people that are court ordered to come to my day job. And there will be times that it's like somebody just, their computer doesn't work. They can't get transportation. They're not able to show up. And then I will sometimes reschedule them to a different group, or maybe I do a one-on-one with them. And every single time it's happened to reschedule something, I'm like, you were meant to be here at this time. You weren't meant to be in the other session. You weren't meant to be there. And that's what I try to do and give grace to other people, no matter if it's something as simple as going for a walk with a friend, or doing a show, or doing important interviews, or court ordered sessions. If we give a little bit of grace, the timing actually seems to work a little bit better. No, they can't reschedule like in 6 months. They got to get in real soon, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I absolutely. And I'm going to refrain from commenting on court-ordered. What did you say?
Groups that they get to come to my office instead of sometimes having to go to jail or prison, or having different program requirements.
Right, and so that's something I'm sure that you cannot speak on.
Oh, I can speak on a lot of it. I just can't give details of the humans that get into the class.
Okay, all right, fantastic. So let's talk about what's happening right now in America. So you and this is going to kind of dive into my Ms. Main story for next week. But I think you're concerned about your, can you go into some detail there?
Yeah, I can. So cut me off if I talk too political on here, but there have been some federal orders for certain states to cut a lot of money for this big bill that they are posing. And the state of Michigan, where I live, not where I'm on location today, was told that they had to cut an enormous amount of money through the Department of Corrections. Department of Corrections is not just prisons. It's also all the programming inside the prisons, the programming when you're on parole. That means after you get out of prison and you're coming back into the community, because when you've been taken away from your community for a year or more, things look different. You don't always know the resources. You sometimes have a mindset that you don't know how to re-engage, or you may not feel welcome in your community, and people may treat you that you're not welcome. So our program has always been a opportunity to make that a little easier. And we call that in the world I work in is reentry. It's right. Preparing to come back and everything. And we are a small program. We are not $40 million. We are just a baby pot of money, but we cover intense programming where their humans actually get to come to us 5 days a week, all day long, do day programming, learning about employment and doing resumes and getting their GED or their high school diploma, being able to learn parenting skills and anger management and different things in terms of recovery, and whatever they need, we are there for them. And we save almost $2 million in taxpayer money every single year. We've been doing this for 11 years. And Friday morning, they decided to cut 100% of our funding. That means staff layoffs, not just at my agency, but we also use that money to cover other agencies to come in and do some of these trainings and workforce development. And the work we do is not just for one person that committed offense. It trickles into their whole family, and it trickles down into the community, and it trickles into the state, which trickles into the entire country, saving monies and generations of decisions like that. So yeah, I'm pretty hot and bothered, and I say it kind of with a smile, because that's how I keep from just wanting to scream and cry and do all the things. So it is frustrating. It's sad. It is literally impacting the lives of so many humans, both that want to work in the reentry field, but also that have a loved one or they themselves have made just one decision or two that got them on the wrong side of the courthouse. So yeah, it's tragic. I mean, this is literally 2 days old news, and it is heartbreaking that our government has decided that putting more money into roads is more important than putting money into humans. Many humans that aren't going to be able to get jobs to drive cars on those new roads. So yeah, pretty bitter right now. So you get me. You told people it'd be raw, and it's about as raw as can get. I am regrouping. I am having to work a lot tomorrow, which is still part of my vacation out of Michigan, but I will be working a lot to see what we can do, because getting this news first thing in the morning on Friday morning, tough stuff. And I know we're not the only ones. So many people are hurting. So many people are being ripped from their families. So many people are having to fight for food and to try to fight against everything going on in this entire world right now, that part of me feels very guilty for being able to say that I was having so much fun with Damien and Dr. Tanya. We have to have some balance too, though, because those of us that are in for the good fight and those of us that are willing to stand up and willing to try to make some change, we also got to take care of ourselves, because if I burn out real quick, if I get too angry and too frustrated, nobody's going to listen to my words and nobody's going to really be able to get the full 100% Jackie. They may only be getting maybe 30% of me, and that's not fair either.
Absolutely. There are several things that don't come to mind. So the one thing that I can't stand is when someone says, I understand, I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
No, you haven't, because it's not about you. What occurs is that we all have our own triggers and our own traumas that we've lived through. And each one of us takes this step. And this is a step, and I don't want to set you off, but this is a step of instability for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I don't know how to talk, guys, without saying the words out loud. It's instability.
Mm-hmm.
The one time that I ever get really outside of my element, and you see me seem uncomfortable, is when it has to do with financial insecurity.
Yeah.
I freaking hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I can deal with everything else. I can turn a business around. I can do, I can take something broken and make it, tomorrow's next big gift. But when I have to budget myself personally,
Mm-hmm.
when I can't jump on a plane and go see my daughters, or when I have to say, all right, am I going to pay my mortgage this month or am I going to pay my credit? Which one am I going to do? And as we're listening to what's going on, people are making a choice. I get so much trouble for this. People are making a choice to be silent.
Mm-hmm.
And the choice to be silent means it's not happening.
Yeah.
So I'm going to shut up. But you know what?
Yeah.
It's getting closer
Yes.
and closer and closer. They're going to keep moving in until they finally reach someone that is so close to you that it affects you, because you're not going to want to watch that person's demise.
You're right.
And I feel sorry for you, and not you, Jackie.
Yeah. All of us.
Because I think that you will overcome, and you're going to handle this with grace, and you're going to come with a life lesson. And this is just a pebble in the road that is pointing you towards your destiny. So if we think that right now you are on a good track, and a comfortable track, I don't know. I'm gonna keep saying track. And this pebble is moving you into a different direction. And that direction is going to allow you to reach more lives, to save more souls, to speak more life into the destiny of someone else. Because
I appreciate you saying that.
You are a gift, and that gift needs to be heard. And maybe God is saying, and I'm just saying, I can't speak on his behalf now, but maybe he's saying, this 8 hours that you're giving over here, you can change so many more lives if we push this over here. And I am going to make sure that you are living an abundant life, because you are going to help others lead their abundant life. Everybody say amen. If you heard that.
It is Sunday. We're in church today.
Right. And I need the same thing, because I need it back. Send it back. I ain't got a job.
No, I love your analogy though. And I used to be really bad with change. It was not my thing. And Matt actually had a question a little bit ago. He said something about what made Jackie social work background turn her into what she's doing now. And it's like, I didn't want to work with the criminal justice system. I did not want to work with court orders. I did not want to work with people that committed crimes or people that were victims of crime. I was a victim of crime in high school, and I never wanted to be able to let people know about that. I wanted to keep it hidden and everything. And one day
Is it something you can share today, or is it something you still
actually, I've wrote about it in an anthology that I was in, and it is something that that rocked me to my core, and it has changed a lot of my relationships and dynamics, because it was an assault, and it was by somebody that was, everybody knew
assault?
it was almost a full sexual assault. There was
Okay.
physical assault, and it was almost something that would have turned into a gang mentality, because it was done at a party surrounded by people that all knew who he was, what he was trying to do, as he was sorry, this is kind of a trigger warning, but as he was trying to rip my clothes off and blood was coming down my face, all the people knew who it was, and not one person called the cops. Not one person came and lifted me up. Not one person told on him at school or had him have to take time off the football field for what he did. So I tried to avoid that, because as many women do, and men that get assaulted as well, we think if we don't talk about it, it's going to go away and nobody's going to judge us or say that it was our blame or anything like that. And so I took that, and I didn't want to work in that field. I didn't want to have to come and think about that, think about my rawness, what happened to me, or how many other people this is happening to. And like change, even though I didn't want to do it, I wanted to be a little social worker making kids happy, so they didn't have to be sad. And so if they were having hard lives at home or something. And then what happened is my boss came to me and he said, yeah, we're starting this new program. You're no longer working with the elementary kids. You have to go start working with the criminal justice center and start working with kids that have broken the law and they've gotten taken out of their homes and put in detention centers. And oh, by the way, you got to talk to the victims of their crime and see what they want to do for the court system. And I'm like, yeah, I don't do that. And he's like, yeah, you're going to.
No, you do.
So I am good with change. I understand change. I understand so much, but when it impacts so many humans, it's not just Jackie anymore. It's my staff. It's the community. It's the participants. It's the children of the participants that are starting to learn. If you guys don't know this, if you've had a parent that is incarcerated currently or had been, your children are more likely to become incarcerated themselves than they are to get a high school diploma. Our program was breaking that cycle. We were breaking that cycle. Money gone. Let's put it into roads. And our program is not the only one that was taking away this, but it is something that when you vote, when you live in a country that you're able to freely vote and express yourself and you're not willing to do it, or like Bill said earlier, you stay silent, you can't complain when this stuff happens. You have to step it up, and you need to do twice as much work as people like me that did not vote for all this, that is trying to get out there and make the change. You have that obligation. Otherwise, you're just like that schoolyard person that sees somebody getting assaulted, you see somebody getting bullied, and you don't say anything because you're scared. If you say something, it'll happen to you. Oh, no. All you do, you say something once, it starts going away, and those people change. Why can't we just all be nice to each other, Bill?
Because hurt people, and the worst person ever is an unhealed parent.
Mm-hmm.
Because an unhealed parent damages their child, and that trauma keeps going. And that's why programs like yours are so important. What I believe what a lot of people don't get is so I'm going to get in trouble again. I'm going to say it anyway.
I think I am too with being with you.
But, guys, people say LinkedIn is not a political platform. No, it's not. But politics is playing a hand in our employment, in our ability to get jobs, the cost of living, how many businesses are laying off. These are all things that we need to understand from a professional standpoint. So no, it's not LinkedIn is not a political platform, but I believe that we cannot walk around with our head in the sand and then be surprised when our number comes up and we're let go. how do you not? First, I applaud what you do
Thank you.
for a living, and I say that with the utmost respect and gratitude. How do you not take that home with you?
So first of all, I do kind of like that quote that you had for your newsletter article today that I posted about, yes, I'm going to boss up, but I'm also going to cry about it. It's
Yeah.
about balance. You can't put your guard up and not have any empathy. That's what the world is looking at right now, is these unempathetic people that are only in it for themselves. I have to keep hope. A lot of people in my kind of field, or people that go into corrections or law enforcement, even social workers, they get burned out really easy. And when they get burned out, they either self-harm by overusing drugs or different things like that, alcohol, things like that, or they get out of the field and they just do something different, which totally is appropriate and acceptable. Or the worst case, I mean, because self-harm is bad. I mean, please don't get me wrong there, but when they stay in that field as burned out and jaded, and they start taking it home and it affects their family, then they start lashing out on the people they're supposed to save and protect and serve, or they start hurting people even worse. And we're seeing that right now in so many capacities. So I have to do some balance. I surround myself with great people. I do little things where I try to lift other people up that I don't even maybe know so much, or different things. But I get jazzed, Bill, when I see somebody that just wants to stare me down and be like, you don't know what I'm going through because you don't live on my street. You never grew up in my kind of neighborhood. You didn't do this. You didn't do this. Nobody wants me to succeed. Nobody cares about me. And I let them talk, and then I give them hope. And they realize that I can't change what's happened to them. I can't change that. Yes, I was born into some privilege with this white skin that I got, with being able to go to school, with being able to have food in my belly every day. I have a privilege that not all humans get. And I do not take that lightly. I do not take that for granted, but I am never better than one other soul in this world. Okay. It is something that being able to give somebody hope that they can have a different outcome, that they don't have to be that statistic like we quoted about if your parent went to prison or jail. You don't have to follow down because your parents, are unhealed and they're doing all this trauma, or they're assaulting you, or they are becoming addicted. You don't have to go into that lifestyle if you have safe, supportive people around you. And we got to start with the people in the systems. If we are treating people like they're animals, and we're not listening, and we're not observing when kids are getting abused, or asking how we can help, we are part of the problem. And so I have to keep the focus of hope, even with how bad things are with so many things. If I don't have hope, I would do that self-destruction as well. And I've had bits and pieces in my life where I've started to go down those roads of self-destruction. And thankfully, I was able to have the support. I was able to make different decisions. And not everybody knows that there are tools out there. And so I do side business work because my day job can be so heavy that if I don't have something else to work on, I assist people with traveling, and I assist people with helping in their family life that are not court ordered. You can do this before it gets to that level, and how to reconnect and how to heal yourself. So my side business, Just X Advising, is not therapeutic. Okay. So even though I'm a social worker, even though we talked about therapy earlier, it is not for therapy. It's really to get you going, to get that jump point, and then to move on. So whether it's because your business is not really getting out there the way you want it because you're not confident in yourself, so you're kind of setting yourself back. Now, I'm not doing what you're doing, Bill. I'm not going to give leadership advice and all that kind of stuff. I am doing this stuff, the internal stuff, to just twist it a little so you're confident, especially for people that have been told all along, you're not going to make it, you're not worth it, you're not pretty enough, you're not skinny enough, you're not smart enough, you're not rich enough, all those kind of things. Those are some of the things that I can work on because I've been there before. Being an advisor does not mean that I have had it perfect. Like we shared some of the stuff in the back. I have made some bad decisions. I have ruined some people's image of me. I have done things that I never really expected to do. But I've learned from them, and I have grown from them. And that's what I want everybody to learn, is that you can change and grow when you're ready, if you're ready.
So what's interesting about that, and I'm going to just take it full circle, is everybody sees each person through their own lens. We've talked about this before as well. I'm not comfortable in a public platform. I'm very much an introvert. I freak out about 5 minutes before we go live because I think my guests aren't coming up. Um, but we put on that that image that helps other people get through. But what I what I love to do is to give everyone a platform and let everyone know that life doesn't have to be easy, but it's fast. And this, that what we're having right now is a moment. It's a moment. It's a moment. Whether it's a great moment or a terrible moment. For me, it's a great moment. For you, you could be sitting there going, "Oh, I can't wait till this crap is over with." Um, but no, I'm enjoying it. It's a great moment. I'd love to do it again. Um, but for other people, they stress out.
Yeah.
If you remember that this, what you're going through, Jackie, is a moment. What I'm going through is a moment. The reason why I have a podcast is because I had nothing to do. I was like looking for a job, and I'm like, okay, I have nobody to talk to. It's me and my two dogs. Oh, I'll talk to these guys out there, and people started liking it. There's 522 people right now on YouTube, and combination of YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and wherever we're doing. But I don't know where they're all coming from, but that's pretty good, right? And it's, if you build it, they will come. I want to take some of the things that Jackie has said today that I really think the world should hear. And that is, she shared her story. And it's important to share the story because she didn't want to in the beginning for all the reasons that most women don't want to share the story. They don't want that spotlight on them in the moment. They don't want to have to relive it. They don't want to have to prove themselves. Why do I have to prove myself when 12 people sat and watched this happen? So why am I on the witness stand?
Yeah. And knowing almost always the perpetrator is going to get away with it or get such a light blemish on their record, but yet we're blemished pretty
Yeah,
much for the rest of our life. Yeah.
every single time, every single time. And as you know better, you do better. So I'm going to say this, and then, um, oh, we can talk forever.
We got some questions
Um,
coming in too. I'm excited.
huh?
I said we got lots of questions coming in too. I'm excited.
I know. So you could you could take any question you want. To be very very honest with you, the spotlight up there is messing with my glasses, so everything is blurry to me right now.
Oh,
So
nice.
if you can read it, that'll be great.
Okay.
If there's one, like I can see them. I saw Mike's about not going down partisan politics. That was the last
Yeah.
one that I had. But we're not going down partisan politics. That wasn't
No.
the intent.
No, I think we're pretty straight on that there is definitely things that need to change in our current administration. And while we're talking about my victimization, think about all the victims that are being ignored right now by our top officials and what that message sends, not just to those women from the Epstein files, but also all the family members of those top leaders in our administration that are hiding it, that are not supporting their daughters, their granddaughters, their nieces. They are all seeing this. They're all seeing this. And this is that hurt that you talked about earlier. When as an adult, you're hurt or you're told you can't share or you can't share the truth because of something or because somebody else is going to hurt you if you share that truth, it's just a whole nother dimension. It's a whole nother dimension that is like, why are humans so evil to each other? It costs nothing to be nice. And if you don't really like the way they smell or the way they talk or something, just walk away. But you don't have to be evil back to them.
It takes. Oh, look at you. Who's Kelly Sue Letzinger? That's
Kelly's
from
one of my
you.
good friends and one of my staff.
Hey, Kelly. Um, So it's interesting because um, I've never understood why we, and this doesn't include you and me. This is really kind of like the collective we need someone to be the boogeyman, and that happens throughout our lives. There needs to be someone, whether it's immigrants or whether it's black people or whether it's migrants that are on our social security. It's always somebody. So you get them all out, and now our farmers are losing money because there's no one to work in the farms, right? So where has this created jobs? I don't understand it. I understand it's creating hate.
Lots of
I,
hate.
I understand it's creating hate, but where have the jobs come from? And
I think one of the worst things, Bill, is that we are such a huge country, and there are people in countries all over the world that have a lot of struggles and have a lot of issues. And there's a lot of countries that are so vibrant and they take care of their citizens and they understand that healthy country people make their country stronger and everything. With us being such a huge country, so many people aren't seeing that direct violence. They're not seeing actual farmers being taken right off of the farm so that the fruit is rotting, because that hasn't necessarily happened in your hometown yet. And they don't want to learn about it. They don't want to read about it. They don't want to see that it is really happening. They might not live in Chicago, so they didn't see people rappelling and putting babies into zip ties in the middle of the night without even partially being clothed. We don't see when we fear stuff, we want to disengage and say, that's not going to happen to me because I'm not like them. I don't look like them. I don't live there. I don't work that kind of a job, so I'm safe. And when we do that mentality, that breaks down our human qualities of being together. We're in this world together. Those that have faith, those that realize that this world is a way bigger place than just how many years we're going to be living on this earth, they're getting away from the reality that we were placed on this beautiful planet to be able to take care of each other and to be safe and to be happy and to actually enjoy these beautiful trees and all this great stuff that is just being decimated. And so working together and having dialogue like this, even if it's really uncomfortable for some of the viewers, even if it's really uncomfortable for you and I, like, oh my gosh, we're going to get banned off these platforms. It is so important to start breaking down these barriers. Oh, Mike, I appreciate that. That is,
I did too.
yeah, because I'm like, some people are probably bailing, like, oh, we can't listen to this.
No, it's actually going up. It's 570.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. I love that so much. So, let's talk about David. David just said something about what does mental wellness play in her approach to leadership? Guess what? Guys, so many people have stigma about what mental health is, what mental illness is, what mental wellness is. Guess what? We are all born with these things called brains that have these beautiful minds inside them. And when you can't take care of your brain or your mental wellness inside that mind of yours, it impacts not just your physical body, but even the inside stuff like your organs. And then that makes you a little bit more sore and angry, and maybe you can't sleep. And then even if you don't have a diagnosable mental illness, if your mental wellness is not in check, you can have bad days, you can have stress, you can have anxiety, you can get angry. That's okay. Those are normal. But if you end up having it get inside your body where it ends up being trauma filled and angry and hurt and sore in your body, you're going to lash out on other people. You're going to not do an effective job at work. You're not going to be nice to other humans. And then those people are going to trickle in and see how you're treating them. And then they're going to start being mad and they're going to trickle out to other people. So being able to give other people brain breaks as a leader, it's tough because we got tough work to do. And I focus on that mental wellness. We've got to do it. I try to give opportunities for mental health days and giving different training opportunities. I was able to get multiple tickets for the Work-Life Balance Summit, which we talked about things like mindfulness and how you can balance yourself, and how when you're more mentally well, you're not only physically well, but it leads to more wealth, which is right up Bill's alley. It's all tied together. And when
who's this Bill you speak of?
I know. I love it. When we start taking time to take care of ourselves, because for me, being mentally well might mean that I am going to go take a nap today and I might take another nap tomorrow. Or maybe I'm going to play on my little phone and play some matching games. Or maybe I'm going to go take a walk. Or maybe I'm going to go with a friend. Where somebody else's kind of mental wellness break might be going and doing a 5-mile jog. Or maybe they're going to do something that I wouldn't find interesting at all. But you've got to do what works for you. So as a leader, you have to not say one size fits all. You have to do this. You have to give some opportunities. So when we give some bonus PTO for Mental Health Awareness Month in May, I don't tell them what they have to do for that. I don't say, oh, you're all going to sit here and you're all going to meditate. But I do encourage meditation and I encourage different things. And I can't tell other people what's going to work for them, but I can definitely give some ideas and some tools. And boy, I know what worked for me maybe even 3 days ago might not work today when I'm more angry or more concerned about the world, but it doesn't mean it's never going to work again for me. So we got to keep trying. We got to keep trying, Bill.
Yep, absolutely. You guys, I suffer from anxiety like it's a beast. It's a beast, and I keep saying this. You need to understand what your triggers are. So, what are mine? Financial instability. What am I doing right now? I'm looking for a job. So that means my anxiety at this moment is higher than it normally would be, and it's not because of anything I can control at the moment. It's because it's something I can't control. And I can keep putting myself out there, but I need to recognize what I can control and what I can't. And that's what keeps me from really losing it. Because if I thought about, every single minute and every single hour, I would get frustrated. And again, that's the purpose of the podcast, the newsletters, to get myself out there.
It's huge.
There is so much that we need to do to help each other. And part of that is recognizing that it's okay to have a bad day. And it's okay to tell someone, I'm having a bad day. But this is what I want to know from my friend Jackie. What keeps you motivated?
I am going to tell you, both Lori and Bill and everybody watching, what motivates me right now this minute might be different than what motivated me this morning or yesterday or what's going to motivate me tomorrow. That's the beauty of hope. Okay. I have to have hope or I will become the most bitter person around, and nobody needs that. So I have, a couple of people talked about our chemistry or the energy or something. I have one of those personalities that unless I'm wearing my sunglasses with the hat down, you're going to vibe off the energy I bring into the room. I don't know what it was about how I was born or whatever. I am a Scorpio though, so that plays into a little bit, but my energy either can get people excited or it can get people really angry or sad because I vibe. If I'm having a rough day, if I'm working on this report and there's a deadline in 2 hours and I'm not getting it out to all jive, somebody sees me, they're going to see this cranky Jackie face and it's going to be like, oh, did I do something wrong? No, it's just the way I'm vibing. So I have to have hope because if I am bitter and I am angry 99% of the time, it is going to ripple out to other people that are walking down the road past me, not even just people that I work with or live with or see all day to day. It could be a total stranger. And I don't have the right to give other people my bad day. I feel that we are all one step away from making the best decisions in the world or the not good decisions. We could be on the other side of this world so quickly if we can't have hope. So doing this work, I work with people that have so many people given hope up on them. They've given hope up on themselves a lot. Even the teenagers and preteens that I work with, some of them literally think their only future is getting in a gang, being shot, shooting somebody and go into prison. They don't see graduating. They don't see owning their own company. They don't see some of this. If you can't have hope even as a kiddo, we have failed as a society. So my motivation almost 100% is giving other people hope. It fills me up, even though sometimes it takes a lot more of my energy to do that. It does give me hope. Now, I'm not nice and happy all the time. I can give some attitude and I can give some anger when needed, but it's not my right to just go around this world being bitter and angry because bad stuff has happened and I've seen bad stuff and I know bad stuff is coming forward. But you have to do what motivates you, because what motivates me, like I said, throughout the day can change. It could be, oh, I want to quick do this because I want to eat something naughty today, so I better go for a walk. Or, hey, I need to be on time for this, but I'm so tired, I'm not going to do as good of a job, so maybe I can take a 20-minute power nap. So that motivation changes throughout the day. Also watching your energy level. If you're that morning person, if you're that night owl, if you're the afternoon rock star, use that time to do those difficult tasks. Use that time to really do the stuff you don't want to do. That way, when your energy is a little bit lower, you don't feel like the end of the world is happening because you got to get this done, or this report is hanging over your head, or these bad discussions or these conversations can't be avoided and you have no energy. So find what motivates you. And if you have not been motivated, if you have not had people wanting to give you hope, or they don't talk nice to you, they don't support you, you got to find some new circles. I can't tell you how many people are just like, this relationship, he keeps doing this to me or she does this, and why do I hang around? Why are you doing that? If you are hanging around the same toxic people on social media, unfollow them, block them. There is nothing in the world that says just because you guys are cousins 3 people away means you have to see the bull crap that they post on social media that doesn't fill your heart with joy. You can walk away from people, but if it's a scary or a place that maybe isn't safe for you to do that right now, please don't do that. Okay, make sure you have a safety plan in place and you have support networks. Find your support. Watch shows like this. Vibe off of Bill and me until you find who your people are. Bill, I vibe off of you. If you were on here, Jackie, what are you doing? Don't talk anything about politics. I'd be like, I am so blocking him because I can't do that.
So it's funny because I can talk forever, as
Me
Kenneth
too.
knows. It is 4:46, so we have 15 minutes. Jackie has a hard stop. So as you guys know, I normally do not have a I'm normally looking at the clock, but we do have a hard stop. Is there one thing that I'm so insane, guys? I'm
I'm like, is he falling?
no. So I live by myself with 2 dogs, right? So all of a sudden, I'm starting to hear music coming out of another room. But you know how, like, when your TV goes onto a commercial, and sometimes the commercial plays a little bit louder, like, and it was the dumbest music. And I'm like, what is this music I hear? And so I can see you and me on the you and I are on like this 85-inch color television.
Oh gosh,
right?
my face has to be so huge.
I only watch it to see, like, if the volume's not even on, just to
Oh
make
my
sure
God.
that it's streaming to YouTube. But I was like, where's this music coming from? And then I don't know if this happens to you, but I'm like, does anybody else hear the music? or is it just me?
You are too funny.
And if it's just me, maybe I
Totally
shouldn't
just
say
you.
anything.
And I'm going to wrap you back to where we were talking because we were talking about our hard stop. So
Okay,
I
so
have to be
look
done
at
in
this.
just over 10 minutes, but Bill can keep going. So y'all don't need to drop off because he's probably going to need some support after dealing with me for an hour.
No. No. You have been fantastic. This has been really, really good. What's your biggest concern? So I know people that have been in the prison system, and I've hired people that have been in the prison system. But it's not true. You don't go into prison, get rehabilitated, and come out, and then it's all easy breezy.
Yeah.
You lose 10 years of your life.
Yes.
So just so that someone can understand this, I had a friend that went in 2005 and got out just recently. So he went in before the iPhone was released.
Mm.
That means he doesn't know anything about dating today. He doesn't know anything about music today. He doesn't know anything about directions. He doesn't know anything about AI. But what is an AI? So not only have they lost those years, but they're coming into a situation where, at least the friends, the people that I know, They're coming into a situation being the best of 2006. You know, I mean, it's like
Yeah.
that what you're talking, like, I don't know what are you saying to me? Because
Yeah.
that's no longer something that we say. So I need to try to figure out what you're saying. I'm not judging you for being in prison. That's not for me to do. But the track record, um, as a hiring manager, could be really good because they can be extremely loyal.
Mhm.
Because they do get kicked a lot. Um,
Yeah.
but they don't get they don't always get the grace that they deserve.
Yeah. Well, they never get the grace they deserve. So they are treated so inhumanely in prison systems and many jails. When I say inhumanely, it may not just be physical, and there's a lot of physical inhumanity with our correction guards. So many correction guards are actually the cause of a lot of the fights, the gang violence, the contraband that comes in, because they are not healed and they are dealing with all that, like I said, that burnout or that trauma themselves, or they got into those positions because they didn't feel confident about themselves, so they'd rather walk around with a gun or with a couple buddies that get to do some force to you. But not only that, the food that is served, the lack of health care, the lack of mental wellness care, the lack of, in female prisons and jails, the lack of feminine hygiene, it is the worst of the worst. So when we talk about not much grace being given, even in their incarceration, it's ridiculous. And then getting out, they're just supposed to jump through all these hoops and act like they are this trained puppy dog when their brains are trying to acclimate to, oh my gosh, my childhood home isn't there, and my grandpa died, and my dog's gone, and I don't know how to use this technology. They said, just put it in a GPS. What the heck is a GPS? There's so much there. And it comes back down to real life here, Bill. We have to be human to other humans. Where did the humanity go? Why did we decide locking up humans for ridiculously long sentences is okay? I've
It's
done,
not.
I've been into a couple different prisons, like doing work, and then I am lucky enough to leave at the end of the day or the hour or the session. And there was one thing that changed me so drastically was I was sitting in a session and they were doing poetry. It was a group of mostly people that were either doing life in prison or very, very long sentences. And there was a gentleman at that time. I was a bit younger, but there was a gentleman in there, and he was using a chair. He had to sit in a wheelchair, and he was right next to me. And at the end of the session, as we're saying goodbye, he asked me how old I was. And, sometimes you don't say that kind of stuff, or you don't give too much information when you're in a social work type of position. And I asked him why he wanted to know. And he told me how long he had been in prison. And he wanted to know because he was pretty sure he had been in prison longer than I had been alive. And
Mm.
he was. That is not okay. The brains of people when they're 14, 18, 22, 25 are not the brains of people in their 30s and 40s and 50s. Nobody needs a sentence like that. Nobody does. So when we talk about rehabilitation, when we talk about reentry, when we talk about humanity, it comes back down to who's making decisions. Do they actually have souls anymore? Do they have a heart to say, this could have been my child, made this one decision that changed their life forever? Now, I'm not saying give a free pass to people that intentionally harm other humans. That is not what this work is about at all. It's about accountability. It's about repairing harm, and it is making new decisions so you don't make these decisions again. It is not locking them up and kicking them and starving them and withholding medical care. It is about lifting them up and getting them to learn. And just in Michigan alone, cutting all these services, I can't even imagine what the detriment is going to be. And guys, it's going to happen all around this country. We've seen the type of prisons that they want to send people to. I don't care if they were born in this country. I don't care what color skin color they are. I don't care what kind of job they have. Human. Anywhere around the globe, we are human. We are not a reptile. We are not some kind of sea life. We are a human. And if you can't see that we deserve to treat each other a little bit better, guys, you need to go way back. Do some way more than therapy. Do way more than going to church, because you need a lot more than that. And there are ways to get you through that so you can start realizing, even if somebody hurt me, or I'm scared of somebody that looks different or sounds different, I don't have to treat them like an animal because they are a fellow human. It's so simple. It is so simple, and it doesn't even cost any money. But you can charge, or I can charge for some services that can get you on the right path if you do have that kind of money. Otherwise, I offer a lot of free services to nonprofits and different things like that. So consider no excuse for learning a better way to just be a nice human.
So how do they get your services?
JustJacksAdvising.com. I just officially rebranded. So new website. It has all my basic services, justice services, services on mindset, services on working with your family. If you've disconnected and your kid is running the house and you don't know how to get back in charge, if you're having relationship issues, because it almost always
Is that a huge thing?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like the kids running the house and the mom doesn't know how to take it back?
Especially when there is no other parent in the home and the parent wants to be the nice parent and they want to just give the kid all the technology and all the shoes they want and stuff like that. And then the kid doesn't learn how to follow boundaries, and kids want to have rules. They want to know what the expectation are. And when parents are all discombobulated or unhealed, like we talked about earlier, or they're just trying to be friends with their kiddos, it leads to confusion, and confusion leads to lack of communication. Lack of communication so many times leads to health, self-harm or criminal behavior or some kind of a different type of lifestyle than what was really planned for that family. So it's difficult stuff. If you guys have been watching the show that Bill and I've been doing, I don't mince words. I am not going to sugarcoat your stuff. I am not going to blame you. I am not going to shame you. But there are tips and tricks and easy opportunities to reconnect with people that you want to be able to connect with. Learn how to be able to talk with your kiddos. Learn how to reconnect with that relationship, or disengage from the relationship. That's okay too. There are things in this world that we think are so overwhelming and that we are never going to be able to deal with. Guys, sometimes it can literally be in just a couple words that can literally change the trajectory. It can be working with the right person. People that go to marriage counseling, guys, they've almost already made a decision to divorce. So why can't we start working the first time you have an attitude with that person, or when we start having concerns? When your kid ends up making some decisions that could be considered criminal and you just sweep it under the rug, oh yeah, well, we got out of it that time. Guys, they're going to do it again unless there's a lot of work that goes into changing that mindset. But it's so easy. It's so easy, but people don't want to see how easy it is. We could keep talking for like 72 hours. I wish I didn't have my meeting, but yet I really want my meeting because I get to hang out with Dr. Todd.
No. You go to your meeting. We're going to end the show at this very moment. It's 4:56. If you could just say hi to Jeremy. I love Jeremy Burdick. He is my friend. He's fantastic. I can talk to you forever. I hope you enjoyed being on the show today. It to me, it's deep, and there's so much we can contribute. I want to get more into mental health. I think we should be talking about that, especially men should be talking about that more often. I'm not ashamed of having anxiety. It's a thing. And I hope everyone out there, we're not here to change the world, but hopefully you learned a little bit of something from an interaction between two people that knew very, very little about the other.
And we have nothing scripted today whatsoever. He doesn't send any kind of an idea what we're going to talk about.
It freaks people out.
Yeah, it does. But the one thing I want to end with, if you don't mind, Bill, is that you have a lot of listeners today that are on YouTube. I do have my YouTube page, which is at Jackie Hallberg LMSW. So I forgot to have you put that on the screen below. I do not have a big following on YouTube. I don't know how to grow it. And I am so untechy some days. I don't know how to find the comments on a show.
Slow down. At Jackie
Hallberg, just like my name, LMSW.
LMSW.
Yeah.
That's YouTube, right?
Yeah, that's YouTube. So I'm trying to grow that. My show, Just Jackson Guest, is every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I will be on tomorrow night. I'm actually highlighting two amazing people. One that actually served 9 years in prison for a charge he did not commit. So he is fully exonerated. So we talk about tough topics and we try to talk about mental wellness on my show. But I want to get more people out there because every one of us has a story to tell. Every one of us is significant out there. So you can reach out to me from there. But if you could follow me on YouTube, then I can see your comments during the show, because if you don't follow, I don't know how to find you on there. There's a lot of the things. Thank you, Bill, for putting that in your comments. There's a lot of people that have had comments and questions in your show today, Bill, and I don't know if I'll be able to access those after I come back tonight and kind of look at it. So if you guys did put a question that you really wanted me to answer, please connect with me on LinkedIn. Please send me a message or go back to Bill's LinkedIn event here, rewrite the question, and I will definitely get those alerts and I will try to respond to those as soon as possible. Bill, you are an amazing host. You were an amazing guest on my show. You are just
Thank you.
Thank you for creating the space for me today.
Of course, and I will ask you for one favor.
Okay.
Go to my YouTube after the show closes, and then put a comment about where to find you. Because the comments that are live, they go away after the live.
That's what I thought. I'm like, why is
So,
that a thing?
I don't know. The only reason why I know is because I put a comment in first before the show ever starts, and then when I go back to look, it's not there. So it's not just these guys. Everyone out there, we love you, and here's my outro to Jackie. Bye, Jackie.
Bye, Bill.
You be lit, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, you be, oh, hey, you be, oh. Thanks for coming to the show. Hey, just saying thanks before you go. Hey, you be, with the love we wanna send. Hey, just you believe right to the end. Hey.